Marcus Rashford's Manchester United exit is finally getting hot as Barcelona are prioritising getting Marcus Rashford in the door, not Nico Williams, not Luis Diaz. They're all focused on Marcus Rashford, and those at the top of Barcelona have made the decision they want Marcus Rashford. And with Marcus Rashford willing to lower his wages, Sancho, take notes, and with Manchester United willing to compromise to make this move happen, we could actually be getting Rashford out the door pretty soon, which is crazy to think because I always thought Anthony would be the first exit. Boom, sorted. I said this a month ago. I thought maybe Sancho second because there's been a lot of reports in Italy saying the deal's close, but I mean, is it close? I said I felt Garnacho will find someone for, but I was always worried about Rashford being the hardest deal. But I think with the Nico Williams deal officially being off last week and Diaz now being the focus, this Marcus Rashford deal seems to be advancing. But weirdly, Manchester United are getting linked to Mbumo. Not Mbumo, Rodrigo. Rodrigo, yes, I know, lol, lol. I thought it was funny when I saw that we were linked to Rodrigo. Is Rodrigo the Mbumo alternative? That's what I want to talk about. Some sources suggest Mbumo will be done within the next week. Other sources now saying we are looking at Rodrigo. Do Manchester United have some ambitious plan? Real Madrid want to get rid of him. We actually quite good pull when it comes to bringing in Real Madrid players. I don't get them, but we'll talk about that story. Reports of us signing the Botafogo keeper are coming out. More and more reports suggesting a deal could be close for a goalkeeper coming in. The Gyökeres situation is just heating up, and does it really involve Manchester United? We'll just talk about the whole situation and the drama going on there. And Enzo Cannavino, who we signed for our academy and we sent out on loan to Lausanne, has made his unofficial debut as well. So let's dive into. Also want to mention the fact that I am on hotel Wi-Fi for the next week, so I do apologise if this stream does lag or break up. Hotel Wi-Fi isn't the best, and we aren't getting the best Wi-Fi ever. Not that I get the best Wi-Fi at home, but that is why. But yes, let's continue into what has been said on Marcus Rashford. So, it was first reported by Marca that Barcelona are aware that Rashford is willing to lower his salary to join the club, and Manchester United are out and now, and this is the big decision and the big change of mind from Manchester United. Apparently, Manchester United are now willing to accept a loan, but they would only accept it with a mandatory purchase option after the loan expires. But there's now news coming out that Manchester United will be willing to let Marcus Rashford go on loan as long as there's essentially an obligation to buy. Now, as long as the obligation to buy isn't a Jadon Sancho obligation to buy where they can pay $5 million to send him back, I'm open to it. I'd like Rashford to be gone. I'd like 40 million pure profit for Marcus Rashford now. I think that's what we need. I think that's what I'd like. I think we should be able to do that because considering Barcelona had the money for Diaz and had the money for Nico Williams, all of a sudden they have the money to pay for Rashford. It's very cheeky of Barcelona. But at the same time, if it is he's going on loan and we will get the money next year, and it's literally an obligation. They can't do a Chelsea and send him back. I'm open to it if it's the only way that Barca are going to make the move happen. But considering their first two options in Diaz and Nico Williams are now off, I think Barcelona are in a much weaker position. And I think Barcelona are in a position where actually we could probably get them to pay up for Marcus Rashford. It's just maybe we'd have to play the waiting game. But Manchester United are willing to accept a loan with an obligation to buy. I'm open to that if he gets the move done. I want Rashford to Barcelona done. He's not in Amorim's plan. He's not welcome back to training. He has to train alone. He's arriving after Amorim leaves. The relationship is clearly toxic. Rashford is willing to do what he can to facilitate the move. It looks like United are willing to be adaptable. And now that Barcelona do want him, I think we could reach an outcome in regards to Marcus Rashford. It was said as well that Rashford's potential move to Barcelona is progressing and it's been handled by trusted agent Arto Canales. It's more financially feasible than Diaz's operation. People do mention how could they not register Nico Williams but register Rashford? If they can't register Rashford, will they be able? Sorry, if they can't register Nico Williams, will they be able to register Rashford? Nico Williams didn't go to Barcelona because Barcelona had problems registering him. So can Barcelona afford Rashford? Will they have the same issues trying to register Rashford? Well, Rashford is a much cheaper deal to do than Nico Williams, and Rashford would accept a lower wage. So it's seen as more feasible and the deal is progressing. There was reports coming out earlier today from Spain. Now, I don't know how reliable it is because I just don't know which Spanish sources are good or not. But there was reports coming out from Spain that basically Barcelona are going all in on Marcus Rashford. Their focus is now on Marcus Rashford, not Diaz, not Nico Williams anymore. So now that Barcelona have sort of given the green light to Marcus Rashford, and Mateo Moreta, who is a good Spanish journalist, pretty much said that Hansi Flick had given the green light to Marcus Rashford. There seems to be a green light now finally from Barcelona for Rashford. They're finally actually going for Rashford, whereas in the past they liked him, but they were looking at Diaz, they were looking at Nico Williams. So it feels like there could finally be a conclusion here, which I really want to see. I really just want to see him gone. A loan with an obligation, I can't be too mad about, but I would quite like him gone now. But let's get into the next news story, talking about Rodrigo. I honestly don't think there's much in it. I mean, you never know. Because right now, if he's going to cost 70 million, and Brentford are wanting 70 million for Mbumo, you never know. He could become an Mbumo alternative. Look, I think we're going to get Mbumo done. I think we're going to get Mbumo over the line. I just don't know when. I think we'll do it. I just don't know when. It's just dragging on and on and on. I think Rodrigo will probably go to Liverpool, PSG, or Chelsea. If I'm going to be completely honest, I think he will be forced out of Real Madrid. Would I like Rodrigo at Manchester United? Yes. Would he be very good as a right turn under Amorim? Yes. Would I like Manchester United to go for Rodrigo? Yes. Do I think Rodrigo is going to go to a non-Champions League club? No. I don't think he's going to come to Manchester United. I don't think he's going to come to a non-Champions League club. We are looking at wingers. Rodrigo is one of the players we like. Man United maybe got an ambitious plan to see if they can test the waters for Rodrigo, but I mean, if we get Mbumo, I don't think we'll even be testing the waters for Rodrigo. I think if we fail Mbumo, maybe they try Rodrigo. I feel like if we fail to get Mbumo, and the fans are angry and there's pressure on Ineos, maybe they would try something ambitious for Rodrigo, but the chances of getting him, again, in my opinion, incredibly low. Another story is coming out about a Brazilian that Manchester United look like they could be about to land, and this is because it is a more financially feasible deal than Rodrigo. But again, reports are coming out that Manchester United are ready to trigger Botafogo goalkeeper John Victor's 5.9 million release clause. Again, is this more agent talk? All of a sudden, in the last few days, the Botafogo keeper John Victor to United's really been heating up. We've been linked to him a lot. Is this, agent talk, or maybe some being pushed by media now that Onana's injured because they think that it's more of a story, or is this genuine? The one thing about South American news is Aranan Salimo is a good example of it. Sometimes when we get linked loads to a South American player, told that a deal was close, for then actually them to join another club and told that it was never close, but the agent was putting out loads of stories that he was close to United and United were willing to pay out. There's so many times where we've had a story that we're willing to pay out for some random South American gem and we never even put a bid in, and United have just been used by an agent to draw that player more attention or draw that player and move. So I'm always skeptical about these kind of stories until you get someone from like the Athletic or someone that's related to United on it. But there has been more credible Manchester United-based sources that have sort of suggested that Botafogo's goalkeeper John Victor is one to watch. I don't know how good the source is that's saying United are ready to trigger its release clause. That's one to keep an eye on. I don't think we would do anything unless Bayendir goes. And there is talk coming out that Manchester United are willing to potentially give Kova a chance in pre-season. This is coming after Onana is going to be out for 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. I'd be quite excited to see Kova had a good loan spell. I'd rather see Kova than Bayendir, but this could be one to watch with pre-season coming up. Onana not that highly rated. We were linked to him before Onana got injured. Bayendir is expected to leave. So this could be one to watch, but something tells me it's a little bit of agent talk. Now, talking of another massive one to watch, and even if he doesn't go to Arsenal when it falls through because the sporting director of Sporting is being a knobhead, I don't think he's going to come anywhere near Manchester United. But when I see this Victor Gyökeres situation, look, I wanted Gyökeres at Manchester United. I wanted him under Amorim. He was Amorim's dream player. There's no doubt about that. But when we see how messy this situation is, if we'd have gone and finally got Mbumo over the line and then had to deal with this messy situation, I think my head would have been gone. The situation just to get Mbumo over the line has been a stress. So I'm almost partly glad we're not in Gyökeres now because it looks stressful. But the sporting president has basically said it doesn't matter that Gyökeres hasn't reported to training. We're calm. We're not going to change our mind just because he's not coming back to training. Blah, blah, blah. If Arsenal don't want to pay fair market value for Victor, we're very comfortable with that for the next 3 years. La, 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 la. The sporting director isn't budging with Gyökeres. I mean, he's being a bit of a knob considering he had a gentleman's agreement to say he could leave for a set price and Arsenal willing to pay that. And now he wants more, that maybe a big English club has come in and he knows they've got money. I think when you see Arsenal spend over 50 million on Madueke, you want now 80 million for Gyökeres. You can't blame Sporting for that when you see what Arsenal have just dropped on Madueke. But that could be a blow in regards to Arsenal's sporting pursuit. But I don't think it means much for United. But last but not least, I think this was an interesting story. I just wanted to include it. I know it's not like the biggest story in the world, but obviously we signed Enzo Cannabit the other day. We announced it. Obviously we signed it actually a couple of months ago, but we announced it. It was official the other day, and he's straight away gone over to the Sun on loan, and he actually made his unofficial pre-season debut, which is good to see. And I think, while I don't watch a lot of the Swiss league, if any really, I'm going to be keeping an eye on Enzo Cannabit, and obviously there's reports of Sekou Kone also going on out on loan there as well. It could be something to watch this season. But anyway, people, I do apologize if we had some lag, particularly at the beginning of this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.